Okay, so Tau, Bittensor. What makes Bittensor so different from every other crypto network out there?
Okay, yeah, there's a couple of reasons. So first of all, it's very similar in many ways to Ethereum. So I went all in on Ethereum at $9 in 2016, and because it created this thing called the ERC20 platform. So anyone around the world could build a decentralized app on Ethereum. And that created a Cambrian explosion of crypto projects and startups and all sorts. And those projects weren't directly connected to ETH, but we had all sorts going, to the moon, and it just dragged the Ethereum price up with it. Now, when Bittensor created its ERC20 moment, and you can have these subnets, and anyone around the world could create an independent AI, decentralized, distributed startup. That was the Ethereum moment. And so when you look at the whole crypto market as a whole, or any crypto project, it has maybe one or two use cases. It's either a Bitcoin or an Ethereum copycat or something like that. Whereas Bittensor has an unlimited amount of use cases. It's like saying back in the 1990s, what is the use case of the internet? What's the one or two? There's unlimited, and you have everything from OnlyFans to changing physics. Like the internet has so many different use cases, and Bittensor is exactly like that. And right now, even though it's very early days, we, off the top of my head, I could list maybe 12 subnets, which are the world's best at their specific silo, from the world's weather forecast, the world's cheapest decentralized online cloud storage, to the cheapest video compression without quality loss. And the list continues. So Bittensor, or Tau, has a plethora of use cases.
That was nice. You're good at these at that short length. You are. Short length expert. That's what Mrs. Q.
Yeah, that's what Asians are renowned for. Yeah, I am the token DEI element in this hedge fund.
Oh, I enjoyed that. Right.